So you have that in religious institutions, you have that in the Catholic Church right now, which condemns homosexuality as a sin and then hides pedophiles in its own clergy. And so, every time you see repression or suppression, then the shadow starts saying, "You're ignoring me, I'm going to embarrass you." Okay, and the more you ignore it, then the more the energy, anything that you block, it builds up, right? So there are many conditions in which this energy, which is actually normal, have negative and positive traits, is not to be flawed, it's to be complete. Imagine if somebody was positive all the time. You would find them exasperating. If somebody is negative all the time, you'd also find that irritating. There's nothing more natural than a human being that radiates simple, unaffected humanity. That's why we like children. They're so simple, honest, not putting on a social mask, and they're extremely lovable. So there's nothing more that you can do than to radiate your humanity, which is light and dark, sinner and saint, shadow, all of that, divine, diabolical, whatever we want to call it. That's why the devil is just the divine feeling ill. No big deal. You have the mythical shadow that we call the devil, but there's nothing that happens. Even electrical charges, there's positive and negative charge, otherwise there's no electricity. This dance of opposites is there all the time. Now, in human beings, the negative gets pathological. Pathological means dangerous. Okay, when it's primitive, it's dangerous, it's dark, it's secretive, it's repressed. And there are other conditions. There's extreme poverty. There's abject situations. There's war. There's us versus them mentality. There's poor leadership. Okay, we saw the shadow emerge in Abu Ghraib prison, in Guantanamo Bay, in the beheadings, in terrorist movements, in social injustice, in radical poverty, in global warming. This is our collective shadow. It's there because we have manifested that in suppressing it and in these conditions. So when we recognize that certain conditions will bring it out, then we look at the conditions and try to ameliorate those conditions, so it does not become dangerous. When we recognize this, and we know it, and we know the conditions, then we try to ameliorate those conditions. We forgive our own shadow, we get in touch with it, we share it with somebody that we trust, because sharing diffuses the energy, and then we pay attention to those divine qualities: forgiveness, love, compassion, joy. And we stop projecting. Projection is something, when I don't want to face something in myself, then I project it in you. Because I deny it in myself, I imagine it's in you. So anytime you're being defensive without being criticized, you're projecting. Anytime you have extreme opinions about people that you don't really know, you're projecting. Anytime you're using verbal formulas or stereotyping people, you're projecting. Anytime if you feel misunderstood all the time, you're projecting. When you ask other people for their opinion, and when it's not what you expected and you get upset, you're projecting. When you feel threatened by authority figures, policemen, doctors, etc., because you put them on a pedestal, they're just like you, you're projecting. When you finish sentences for people, you're projecting. And when people are very intimate and close and you think, oh my God, they're having sex, you're projecting. So, stop projecting, detach, let go, and be easy, and radiate who you are, and you've conquered the shadow.